was, I think, one of my brother's old bookmarks.
I
And then
recognize
think
that shape. It's like very like scholastic
Right?
book fair.
I love it. And then I guess I put it in here when I was like, oh, okay, these are the books I want to keep for my catalog or whatever. So
Yeah, that's really cute. I was actually just telling I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Diego. That my mom, like, I didn't grow up watching Garfield. Or no, it was Tyler. I didn't grow up watching Garfield, like the cartoon, but I knew of Garfield because my mom had, like, the one bookmark she uses is a Garfield bookmark.
I love that. And I appreciate this book cover.
Yeah.
Like, it really probably maintained this book for the, like, years that it's been. Cause it was published in 1990.
Yeah. I should also preface that by saying that I put a stem in the grinder, a mushroom stem.
Oh.
Yeah, when I told D that I was, like, experimenting, he lost it. He was so excited. He was like, oh, shit, and his face got all red, and I was just like, bro, like...
He's so proud of you.
Yeah. He was so shocked. For always assuming I'm a goody two shoes. I can be when I feel like it. But not for this. Do you want me to turn on that other light?
No. Story time, guys. Oh, I need water, though. Can't read without water.
I got you.
Oh, thanks, Boo. My mug is right there, and I still have the tea bag in it. Can't smoke and can't read without water. I brought my own red tea bag, but I think...
Whoa!
Yo! What the fuck?
You need to chill. That's not cool. Betty literally...
Your anxiety is high. Your old-ass anxiety is high. Yeah. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay, ma'am. Grandma, you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Chill. You are family. Unless we miss, like, Betty, like, pawing at her or something. That would happen.
No, she literally just, like, walked up to her. And Bella went off. That's the first time I've seen them, like, have a not so great interaction.
Sorry, Betty. Come here, Betty. Come here.
She's like, I'll come to you when I'm ready.
Yeah, I feel that. You
Plus,
don't
also,
have
Bella's
the
right
dog
here.
barked.
Well, and I'm just kind of like, why are you going to take up the whole floor like that? Like, I was trying to get ready earlier, and I was sitting there. Oh, this, like, beeps until... It will literally continue going until you do something about it.
That's fair. That's how it should be.
Yeah. But I was sitting at that chair having breakfast, and she sat there, like, laid down the same way, and I was trying to get ready. She just didn't move, and then I accidentally stepped on her, and she, like, you know, got startled, and I'm like, no one asked you to sprawl out in the middle of the floor.
Oh my god, that smells so good.
I just don't know if it's, like, cooked all the way through.
Okay. Let's see. So, this is Almost a Revolution. By, I don't know how to pronounce it perfectly because there are no accents on it, but Chanton. Like, here, it's kind of hard to read on that. Oh, yo, ¿qué pasa?
You need to chill. Betty's literally doing nothing to you. Bella, cut it out. Don't wag your tail at me. That's not cool. She literally did nothing to you. She was in her own domain.
What is going on? What is going on?
I don't know, but I don't like
what?
it.
No.
Go on, Betty. You're okay. I
Oh, like you're literally bigger than her by like 3 times, dude. Like,
You need to chill.
chill.
Ooh, wow. That like spiked my heart rate.
I know. Yo, it's like we're trying to go to bed soon, not stay up. Well, you can see it better here. From your car?
Yeah, I need the lemon for the salad dressing.
Oh, I see. And we are on page 13. Another one of my favorite places to spend time was the barber shop. The barbers talked to me as if I were a grown-up, and I liked that. Once, when I was getting a haircut myself, I sat on the high chair and began to entertain everybody with a story. Do you know the one about the cat and the mouse? I asked the haircutter. No, she said. Why don't you tell me? Keeping my head motionless while she cut my hair, I launched into the story. A cat and her kitten were tending a granary. A little mouse waited until the big cat went away and walked up to the kitten. I'm your third uncle, he said to the kitten. Funny, you don't look like my uncle, the kitten said. Well, I am, and you should let me in, the mouse said. By now, all of the barbers and customers were listening to my story, surprised that I could bring such a simple tale to life. Seeing their interest, I continued with even more animation. The kitten let the mouse in, and the mouse ate so much that its belly was large and round and its mouth was full of grain, I said, puffing out my cheeks. The mouse practically had to roll out of the granary. When the cat came back and heard what had happened, she told the kitten that the visitor was a mouse and not third uncle. The mouse came back the next day. Remember me? He said to the kitten. I'm your third uncle. The kitten didn't fall for the trick this time and chased the mouse away. When I finished, the barber forgot to charge me for the haircut. Besides telling stories, I liked to sing. I had a good voice and wasn't afraid of crowds, so my mother took me to the factory whenever her work unit staged a variety show. I'd stand on a little stool on the makeshift stage and sing my heart out. I made my mother very proud because her colleagues thought I was brave to perform in public. Most of the songs I learned as a child were political, because everything was politicized during the Cultural Revolution. The arts were under such tight government control that songs, modern Chinese operas, and films were all about liberation and the revolutionary heroes. One of the songs was part of a campaign called Learn from Lei Feng, a short, squat soldier from the countryside who had died in an accident and who the government decided to turn into a national symbol of the modern revolutionary. The song went, learn from Lei Feng's good example, loyal to the revolution, loyal to the party. And every child was told stories about his spirit of sacrifice. That's still hot. Lei Feng was so... Oh, I'm good. I feel like it's just very, natural at this point to experience that. Lei Feng was so frugal, one of the stories said, that he continued to use his toothbrush even when the bristles had all worn away. The story that moved me most was about how Lei Feng worked in the fields in the wintertime, even though his hands were chafed by the cold. Biting winds. Chaffed by the cold. Chafed. Mm-hmm. Okay, Miss America.
Sorry.
You're fine. That's the funny part was like reading things in Spanish always never were wrong because it's how it's like spelled, right? And so growing up, I would read in Spanish a lot And then once I shifted into English, I kept that same formula going.
Yeah.
So it's like Southern,
Yep.
you know, like things like that. And then of course it was like, ha ha ha, it's Southern.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's why it's like
Okay.
when people misspell words, it's because I think I said this the other day. It's because they learned it through hearing it, not through reading it.
exactly. So it's like, this is why when people talk about, for example, Arabic, and you're like, oh, like, how do you spell this, right? It's like, spelling is already such a, like, American westernized point of view versus, like, how do you write it is technically the most accurate, right? That's how, like, it works in language
Yeah.
generally if you have it written. And so using, like, what is it? The alphabet we use is Arabic? What is it? No, our numbers are Arabic, sorry.
Yeah.
But whatever our...
We use the quote unquote Roman alphabet, but the Roman alphabet was stolen like 3 times over.
Right, so then Roman alphabet times 3 different points of colonization, pretty much.
At least.
And then... Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. What I was talking about initially.
The alphabet that we write with, and like listening to words and spelling.
Oh, like, so Arabic, like, you have different types of Arabic in, well, that's actually, like, just randomly thrown into there while we're talking about languages. But, like, how you spell it, there's no, like, there's no, like, there is a consistency just because by popular usage, but, like, that was never a thing. Kind of like how Chinese characters also didn't have that, it was like, how do you write it, you know?
Yeah.
That question gets asked a lot, especially because there are a lot of words in the vocabulary. So, like, especially someone's name, right?
Well,
And-
the number of characters too.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
spelling is really important.
Right, it's like, how do you pair different words together?
Yeah. And how does that also affect like the syllables?
Yeah.
That I remember like learning that in Japanese like very briefly, like the way that like individual kanji will like represent entire ideas, but also just like a single sound. And depending on like how you use it or its context, it will have different meanings or like be pronounced differently. And I was just like, what? It was like really fascinating, but also just such an interesting concept because then it's like the names carry so much more meaning because you have to like put way more thought into how it's spelled, how it's said,
Yeah.
you know. And so then to think of how like so many people will replace that with a white name to assimilate is just like this sucks. Like that's really sad. I was thinking about that when I was watching Shang-Chi for like the 5th time. And what was it? Shang-Chi's father asks Katie what her Chinese name is, and like her energy shifts when he asks that. And I was just thinking, like, damn, like that's a really big thing. I would imagine like older generations like hating on younger generations for giving up their names, like their traditional names for like a more white American one.
Well, there's also a lot of kids who are, you know, named also like a white name. So, like
Yeah.
me, for example, right? Like, I have my Chinese name, but I also have my white name for the birth certificate in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's like, I carry those 2 names in that essence.
Yeah.
Right?
How does that like? So that's a common thing in my family. Is like between like in my mom's generation, that all but a few of them, at least in my mom's cohort, like that shared a mother and father, only one of them was ever called by their full name, but everyone else has, or not their full name, like their actual name, but everyone else has a given name and then the name that everyone in the family uses. And I've always wondered, like, do you feel that there's like a major difference in like resonance with your name your
Yeah.
English name versus your Chinese one?
Yeah, I
feel
feel
that
like
your Chinese one resonates.
yes, but also no. But like,
Yeah.
you know, like when someone calls my name, I obviously like respond to it.
Yeah.
So it's like I recognize that it's my name, but I think I always have a moment of like because of the and I actually noticed this like when I go from Spanish and English, it actually is a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So then obviously, right? And so I didn't like necessarily think that. And now that I've been to Peru, like I understand how exhausting it is to like flip languages, but also in general, just like speak a whole other language and tap into a whole other part of my brain.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to experience that, and it makes me think about how well, and also like research shows, obviously, like brains that speak more languages are just better. So you know,
No, it's like really good for your mental agility.
right?
And
then
helps stave off like mental illness.
yeah,
Like degenerative mental illness.
yep, that's very true. And also just like sounds hit different,
Yeah.
or rather, it's sounds have always hit different too. But like switching between Spanish and English in a conversation is a lot of work, and makes me think about the power of language. I love that Betty has like a bell because I feel like Betty does not like the bell.
Oh.
Do you feel that?
I don't know. Maybe. I appreciate that I like can hear her, but it's not like an obnoxious sound.
Right.
It's just like a tinkling.
Right.
And that way I also know like which of the two it is.
Yeah.
I can distinguish through the sound. But I'm curious if it does bother her.
At this point, she's probably just so used to it.
Yeah.
Ugh. I just want to stretch.
Lasagna's up.
Woo! Who's Ari?
I think that she works for the jewelry shop. She came to pick up keys and like stuff for the shop. But
You like
Jen left us
they
that
come
box.
back and like they have no TV, and they're just like, you said take whatever you want.
Where do you want to eat?
Here?
We can eat wherever.
Or do you want to eat here?
We can eat at the bar. I'll just move the back.
I can move this. Oh, let me see here. Ooh, so beautiful. Let's see if this
There's also
camera
more-
can catch it.
more salad.
Look at that salad.
And I also have still half of a lemon. And these eggplant lasagna. Yes, look at that. Deliciousness. You can pick whichever one.
Oh, I don't. I can't really handle all this cheese.
Okay.
I don't think I can. But it is good.